Hi, Josh Hanish here with 329. And today I want to talk to you about SEO. And we're actually going to run a four-part series where I'm going to break down the key elements of SEO. And if you don't know what SEO is, it's called search engine optimization. And it's basically how your site ranks on Google. And really any search platform. But Google is obviously the one that has the most traffic, but this works for Bing, DuckDuckGo. But we're going to focus on Google for this series. It's going to be a four-part series, and each part we're going to get more and more advanced with our tactics that we're going to share with you. The goal for this is so that you learn how to optimize your website so that it ranks as high as possible organically, meaning without paid ads, on Google. There's a lot that goes into SEO. We help our clients at different levels. Depending on the client's budget, we can help them basically rank for a couple of keywords or a lot of different keywords, and SEO expands past the website. So we're going to talk about each of those levels for the next 4 weeks. And today we're just going to talk about what is SEO and what is the most basic thing that you can do on your website so that your business's website ranks as high as possible. So like I said earlier, SEO stands for search engine optimization. And basically, in a nutshell, Google has these bots that are going around the internet indexing it. And they are looking for relevant keywords based on what people are searching for. There's a lot that goes into SEO. It's not just keywords. That is a big part of it, but it's also site speed, navigability, and how sticky your site is. So one thing that is really important, first and foremost, and this actually goes hand in hand with ADA compliance, is making sure that your alt tags on your images are filled in. And if you don't know what alt tags are, they are on the back end of your website. Depending on your editor that you're using, you can update it in a couple different spots. But every time you upload an image to your website, usually the default alt tag is the file name. Now, for ADA compliance, every image has to have an alt tag that describes what is in that image. So just like I've said in other webinars, we're obviously doing a lot of work with ADA, and we're rolling out some really cool products to help businesses be compliant. And what we're finding is that the better a site's ADA is, the better its SEO is. So good SEO is also good ADA compliance. So you can kind of breathe a sigh of relief with that in terms of one small part of ADA compliance is connected to SEO. And like I said, that's the alt tags for images. So let's say that your image, the first image that's on your website is you and your team, let's say. You would want to have that alt tag be something like the team at so-and-so business, or our team, or our business's name team. You want to make sure that every single image has an alt tag, because if you've ever gone on an image search on Google, that's how all those images get indexed there. It's based off the alt tags that are on those images. So the more images you have on your site, the more you can include alt tags with your business's name, different keywords. You also want to be true to what's in the picture. The other thing is site speed. I can't tell you how many times when we're developing sites for clients that we are basically telling them we want to make sure that your site is as simple as possible. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not going to look nice, or it's not sharp, or that it's not professional. Very, very slow sites do not do well on Google. So the SEO ranking goes down quite a bit because Google's in the business of attention. And if they can get your attention, they make more money. And no one likes a site that loads really slowly. So if your site loads slow, and you can use Lighthouse. Lighthouse is a tool by Google where you can check your site speed. If your site's running slow, the SEO is not going to be good because people are going to click on the search result that's tied to your website, and it's going to take even a couple milliseconds too slow can cause frustration and cause people to bounce from your site. So make sure your images are as small as possible, meaning the file size itself, not the dimensions of the image, but the file size. So you can run your images through a compressor. Again, you can just Google image compressor, and you can compress your images so that they're as few bytes as possible. That will really help your site load faster. And then one thing that we pride ourselves on at 329 is building custom websites, meaning truly custom. A lot of web development companies that we see basically pull themed sites. So they pay $70, $150, $300 for a themed site. And it's like they get this package, they get this site that they then show to the client, and it's got a lot of code bloat. So again, as few bytes as you can get your site, the better. So if you are running a themed site where someone else basically just bought the theme off of a theme marketplace and then just put your text and images and whatever else in the website, there's a lot of plugins that make that happen. And it does speed up the site build, but there's two major downfalls. One is to truly make the site yours, it's still going to require a lot of development. So even if the site is totally built out, you're gonna have to change the colors. You might not like how the navigation bar looks. You might not like the contact form. Parts of it might not even apply to your business. And that's gonna take a lot of extra hours to build that. We actually build our sites directly on Gutenberg, which is the native language of WordPress. So it runs lightning fast because the code that we build your site with is specific to your site. So there's no unnecessary code or plugins. The other thing that does is it makes your site even more secure. So if you're building a site from scratch, there's less plugins, which means there's less things that need to be updated on the back end. The more plugins, the more updates. And if you don't update plugins, then that's where hackers can come in and take over your site. So kind of went down a rabbit hole on that, but basically site speed is huge for SEO. And you want to make sure that your site is as small file size as possible. That also means don't host videos directly on your website. Link them from YouTube or Vimeo or another platform, but don't host videos on your site because it just slows it down. You could try to pay for a higher bandwidth hosting plan. That's just more expensive. Just keep it simple. Put your videos on YouTube and then link to them in your site so that they're actually loading on YouTube and not on your site. The other thing is we want to make sure that we're posting content regularly. So as far as what we've talked about, we have making sure that your site speed is as fast as possible. Make sure you have alt tags on your images. But then also make sure that you're posting content regularly. And this is where a lot of business owners fail. And I think they fail because they start off with too big of a bite, meaning they hear these podcasts, they read these articles on SEO, they listen to these influencers like Gary Vee, which Gary Vee is great, but the name of the game that all of these people talk about is content, and creating a ton. And they're not wrong. But if you've never created a blog post, or you've maybe made one blog post every 6 months, going from one blog post every 6 months to one blog post a week or every other day, that is not realistic. So don't make yourself that goal. Just post one blog every month. Just start with that. And you can get your ideas from either your own expertise. So like we have some clients who we have a vendor, a banking client, and They specialize in 504 loans, and they know all about that industry and how federal rate cuts affect commercial real estate. So they can basically just take their knowledge and put it down on a blog. And that would be a great resource for anyone who is looking to finance their business through a 504 loan. The keywords would probably be around the 504 loan, bridge loan, and they could write that blog on that topic. Blogs are great because it shows Google that you are adding content to your site and that you're keeping your site relevant. Sometimes the blogs don't even need to be directly about your business. So organic search works in interesting ways. Some people find you by looking for the exact service or product that you sell. Some people find you because maybe you put a really cool tutorial on that they found really helpful, and then they see the other parts of your site and it piqued their interest. So we advise clients to write blogs specifically about their industry, but also adjacent to that industry. Like for instance, for this banking client that I'm talking about, they could talk about commercial real estate due diligence and the paperwork that they need when trying to figure out how much a property is worth. It has nothing to do with getting a loan, but people who are looking to secure a loan are also probably looking to figure out how to actually buy a commercial real estate property. So start with what you know. Don't worry about keywords. Don't worry about if it's relevant. Just write about topics that you're an expert on. And Google has changed its algorithms. They are looking for longer form content. So we recommend that blogs be about 1,200 words. So just start at one a month. Do that for 6 months. And then if you feel like you have the bandwidth, increase it to 2 blogs a month. The other thing that I would recommend with blogs is to always leave a call to action at the bottom of the blog on how people can work with you. That might be to email you, that might be to call you, it might be to fill out the contact form, but make sure that you are leaving a call to action so that if some random person finds your blog off of a Google search, they know how to contact you if they want to talk with you further. Those are the very basics of SEO. And every single episode after this one, we're just going to keep ratcheting it up. So if this was kind of like a review for you, great. My goal is that in the next 3 episodes, we're going to talk about things that you haven't heard of or that you don't know much about. I appreciate your time. If you'd like to follow along, you can follow me on LinkedIn. There's the QR code to follow my profile if you'd like to stay up to date with other webinars or just marketing topics in general. You can also join 329's email list where we send out we send an email once a month that covers our most recent blogs, some tips, some insights into different industries. Just once a month, no spam, but that is a great place just to keep learning more about how to market your business. I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.